What is going on, brothers? This is welcome back to Manor Lords. Today, we're going to play through the entire demo and try and make it as quick as possible. We'll get some good talking points in for how to progress efficiently and, of course, what's available. So we're going to just start off, and because I'm going to do this as more educational and not like a challenge, I'm going to just start with double the supplies. I'm just going to have tolerant approval, demanding approval. It feels like it's the wrong way. No weather events. I'm just going to do tolerant. You know, like I said, we're just going to keep it simple. We're just going to kind of blitz through this as fast as possible because, again, the demo right now can't be saved. We've obviously got some rough edges here, so I want to get through and just talk. So it starts us off. We got a nice little homeless camp. We've got our ox over here, and we've got our basic supplies. You can see we're doubled down. So here, it's just going to give us some quick objectives. We need a granary, a logging camp, a forager hut, and a storehouse. So let's find out where we are. I'm in Fort. I've got wild animals and berries, and we have an iron deposit. So that's actually really nice. One of the times I played, we were over here in Lohnendorf. But so this is great, though. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. So this is where we're looking here, and this is looking quite fantastic, honestly. We've got a lot of space. I've got a lot of woodlands down here. And I've got some berries here. I'm thinking of maybe building my logging camp on this side. This is the main road where the travelers are going to come down. So we'll need a trading post up here. And then I'm thinking we'll start building this way this time instead. Got it. So let's go into the build mode here. Look at the birds. They're so beautiful. So let's go. Whoops. Yeah, roads. Cool. So let's go down here. The first thing we're going to do is I want to build a logging camp. I want them to be able to just get me some right here. Sorry. I want them to be able to get me more wood as we go, even though we've got 40, which is, or 20, 16, where'd the other 4 go? Thought we had a little more than that. We have 16. So I want to make sure that those go well, but I don't want to ruin these biomes here because we've got a large amount of animals here and here. So this is a perfect place for hunting, but over here is actually pretty good for forestry. So let's grab this. We'll put the lodge down here. What was the rotate? That's right, this. I want it to be just like that. That'll be perfect. Now, the next thing we need them to work on is a granary, a forage hut, and a storehouse. So I am going to throw our foraging hut over here because this is where the berries are. So I'll just plop it down kind of like this. This will be pretty good. We'll build some roads later to connect them. I'm not too worried about them. And then I also want to grab a hunting camp. I'm going to plop it like kind of in the middle of these guys. I'm going to make it a little outcast here. Right here will be good. Plop that here. Then we'll get a main road that'll come through this area. And now we just need granaries and storehouses. So the granaries will hold the food. The storehouses, everything else. So, and you want to keep your granaries rather central to all your food sources. I'm probably not going to do berries for very long because I've got these to sustain us quite well. And we'll get into farming soon. So I'm going to carry on with this area, most likely being farming and agriculture and whatnot. So we'll put our storage down here. So we got the granary. So this is the hut. I'm even just going to place it. No, let me start my roads first. Basic roads are down. I've just got some main connecting roads here just with some intersections so that way people can take shortcuts across if they're trying to get places so there's less congestion. Now let's talk about the granaries. So the granary, I'm going to put it right in the middle here around this homeless camp. I'll probably move it later. The only issue with this demo is the homeless tends to disappear and so do these supply stocks, but they only disappear once they're used up and then some time passes. So if I want that space, I gotta wait. I wish I could move them like you can the hitching post. I moved it down here, for instance. But for now, I'm just gonna throw the granary right here. It's gonna be pretty far from our berry guys, but that's fine. They'll live. And then the regular storehouse. So this will probably, so this is where the wood is, of course. So I think I'm just gonna plop it on this path here. It's still kind of central to everything. Yeah, I'll plop it here. It's still rather central to everything, so they can still get a lot done. If I need to move it later, we can. That's the glorious thing. We can move stuff. All right, I'm going to speed up time and let this go. We're not going to need this right away, but I just want to get it down. I'm going to put this woodcutter lodge, and I'm going to just plop it right down here. So I'm going to put it here right on the edge of the field. So I'm going to have them work on these trees. So I'd rather have them closer to the trees than the storage. And I can also put a secondary storage unit down if necessary. So that way they can field their goods much faster. But we don't have to worry about it right now because I start with double the goods. I've got fuel for 32 months. So it's irrelevant at the moment. But once we start getting some more people, we're going to need fuel for the next winter. So I'm just going to get it down, get it ready. I'm not going to snap people to it. Maybe some idle people will go do work there, but for now, that's all that's necessary. All right, now the next message comes in. It's just basically telling us we need to get a well and we need some burgage plots, which are our home. So I've decided I'm going to build a house region up in this district up here. So what I'm going to do is this. Let's head over to the village life. I kind of want to plan it out a bit. So I'm going to do something like this. Maybe I'll start them here. So I want to kind of go up like this across. That's probably long enough. So one main thing to point out here. So you can see here, I've got 5 plots, right? Which is perfect. I also have, you see that plus mark right there? That plus sign means that's an expansion slot available and you want these expansion slots. Okay, we'll talk about those when we get to them, but you absolutely want them. I feel like I only want to make them just as big as I need to. So like something like this is even fine. I don't know why the top ones have enough room, but the bottom ones don't. But it's all right. I'll do this here. And this will be where the road goes for the homes, but I want to flip that. I want to have them going like this. I think that's beautiful. Build these down. So that'll be my 5 plots right there. And then a well. Holy crap. I've got terrible water sources here. So these are the water lines, the underground water. You need to place a well on top of them. So like you see here, it says not enough resource. I need some wood. I've got one guy working right now. But there's not one near here, which is actually really unfortunate. I've never actually built a home away from the wells. I could build the homes out here, but I don't really think that's going to be too beneficial. So instead, I'll place this here and see what happens. Once I get my wood, of course. Got to speed up the time. While these plots are being built, I'm working on a few things here. I'm just trying to get a bunch of wood, so I've got them felling right now. I've got a forestry hut here. I'm actually going to turn one into there and get rid of one log feller so that these guys can constantly just be replenishing my wood here, so it'll be sustained. Then if I need to, I'll bring another one over here eventually too to do the same thing, but that'll come when the village gets much larger. All right, the sediment level has increased. That means we've had our well completed and our burgage plots. I did put the well up here. I figured maybe I'll just have my plots go vertical and I'll create kind of like a slum district up here like this rather than along this horizontal line. We'll go vertical. So I put the well up here so they'll just walk up there when they need water instead of through town, which will clean up congestion. So now we got the final message. So as you walk the perimeter surveying your village with pride, a woman walks past you. She's spent nearly double under a sack. Yes, how long she's been walking. She tells you it takes her half a day now to get all the food she needs. So what does this mean? We need to build a marketplace. And this is the final objective essentially of the tutorial. So it gets a little real after this point because constructing the stalls are easy. Getting level 2 burgage plots, not so easy. So let's talk about that for a bit here. Let's build I'm going to build a trade district over here. So why don't we do this? Market area. I'm not going to do this whole section. I'm going to do something like this, perhaps. That'll be our market area. I'll just keep it right here with everybody else. And then we just have to put down a few stalls. So I've got enough wood. So I'll put down a food stall. And I'm just going to kind of throw them a bit randomly, I want to say. Just because I think it'll look nice if it's like kind of just sporadic and random in here, right? So we'll do that. I'll put the fuel out here towards the back. And then a clothes vendor will also just kind of sit in the middle. And I've got extra room, so if I want to throw an extra one down later, we can. So those will get built now. That'll clear that off. So let's talk about how do we get level ups in the burgage plots, which means understanding this requirement field. So blank means it's just not met. It's irrelevant right now. We don't need it. The dot, the yellow diamond, means you have completed that objective. So this water with the red background, it has that yellow diamond. So that means we've completed the objectives of getting them water. Green means this is required for the next upgrade. So you can see here, we need to have number of food types available on the marketplace. We need 2 different types of food. We need to get 2 different types of clothing, a source of entertainment, and a source of faith. And also that means we need to have fuel as well. So now what does the red background mean? That means it's still required for the next upgrade, but it'll cause a loss of approval if not fulfilled. So the basic needs of these level 1 plots is water, fuel, and 1 source of food. So that means our marketplace is going to be essential here for when that gets taken care of. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take 1 guy off of here just so he goes and starts building. Because I don't need as much wood at the moment. I do want to cap it, and then I'll just put a pause on it for a while. So that's our next allotment here. We need to get all these requirements. So the first thing I would always consider is getting food. So the hunting is amazing. If you have hunting plots, use them. The reason why I say that is you see here I have pelts now. You get pelts when you hunt as well as meat. So with the pelts, what we can do is we can go over to our trade section here. We can get ourselves a trading post, which I'm just going to plop right. Actually, I'm going to put it even just right here. I like them on the main road because it just makes sense, right? I'm going to plop it down here. I don't remember if these have 4-way connecting points. They don't. That's okay. I'm just going to create an extra little path to cut through here like this and like that, just to widen it up a bit. And so with this, I will now start to sell those pelts. I can use those pelts to make clothes, but it's a little irrelevant at the moment because I need to have 2 sources of like linens in a sense, or clothing materials, because we need to have 2 different types. So I'd rather sell them right now and get a ton of cash. And I'll show you what we do with that once the game catches up to our brilliant minds. Winter is now coming. So for my first winter, I don't want to increase the amount of villagers I have. I'd rather just keep it at 5, make it through our first winter nice and easily with our starting firewood. I did throw a guy into wood cutting now that berries are irrelevant because of the seasonal change. So I paused this, threw a guy into wood cutting. I do have an extra man available for the moment. So I think what I'll even do is I'm going to apply one to the firewood stall here. So that way I can have that firewood stall filled up so our people can be getting their firewood more easily for the winter. But then in the next year, we're going to increase our plots over here. So I'm going to throw down I'll start with 3. I'll throw down 3 more plots, which will increase our food intake and our firewood as well, of course. We got to make sure we're ready for that for the next year. So I wanted to get a few things started. Let's talk about farming. So you can see here, when you open this up, you got some overlays. You can see we got the water lines here. So we've got emmer fields, which is your wheat. Emmer is a type of wheat, which we learned when we live streamed this game. Flax is a way for us to get one of our 3 types of clothing, which I'm probably going to abstain from. But flax is a way you can get clothing because you can take that, use a weaver station to make linen. Or cotton? No, linen, cotton. I don't know. One or the other. Barley is going to be used for your source of entertainment. We're going to need to get barley, turn it into malt, and then eventually turn it into beer so we can run a tavern. So the green areas here will be a good place. So we'll probably build a barley farm over here at some point, and then rye. Oh, it's rye. It's rye. So we're going to build an emmer field because I'm going to need we're going to need wheat. And I think this is looking like a beautiful place for wheat here. Okay, I just lost my overlay because it's so bright. I even like this spot up here, but they're not quite done filling this field up. What is this? This is my granary, right? You know what? What would it take? How many people? Max, it's too big, not enough workers for a field that size. That's a shame because that's such a nice looking thing. Maybe eventually I'll delete this and I'll put a wheat field here. But for now, let's start small. Let's start small. I'll do just something like this. This will still max field 3 workers, which is great. That's the size of a family. We'll put that down. Then in order to vet them, we do need to have a farm down. You know, I'll even put the farm over here by our housing because that actually fits quite nicely right here. I'll plop it there. That'll look good. And then I'll eventually we'll build this farming plot up a bit. But wheat is a perfect crop to start with because you get a lot of wheat. And when we increase our families, we can use that to make bread, which is super sustainable. So as I was saying with selling, so I've got the trading post here. I'm going to go to materials. I'm going to change pelts to export only. So that means we're only going to sell them. And the target means if I have more than this, we'll sell the rest. So I'm going to keep my target at 10. I feel like that's a fair amount. and I'm going to sell the rest of them. They export for 4 shekels a piece, so we'll get 4 each. So I'm going to need someone to man this, so that way someone does transport the goods back and forth. So my food is pretty decent for the moment. I can pause hunting and put a guy over here for now. And then he'll go and take some pelts back and forth for us so we can start making some cash. Now, why is cash good? Let's talk about that. So we can make tools with cash. So instead of building an iron foundry, building it in a mining field for iron, then a foundry to smelt the iron, and then an anvil or smithy to make tools out of the iron, I can just buy them for 6 a piece. So that's 2 pelts. So I'll buy my tools, okay? Next is if you're running low on materials, what I like to even do is it materials? Firewood. I like to keep my firewood high. So if you've got a good amount, you can see the export price is 2. You can sell it for more than you can buy it. Now, with the way the trading works now, it's pretty hard to abuse it because you can only sell so much at a time and you can hurt yourself. So if you've got a surplus, set a limit and sell some. It'll help you. But otherwise, I usually keep mine as an import-export, so that way I maintain like 120 of them when I have a larger area. But we can also go down the line. We could even buy our malt, so we don't have to have a farm for that if we don't want to. There's all sorts of things we can do with it. So that's what I like to do. So I sell the pelts. I can even take leather and cloth directly with the sales I make and then make my clothes out of that. These are useless for the moment. They're not really a part of the game at the moment. There's no benefits to them besides the ale, which we sell. But yeah, you could also just buy ale and sell it in the tavern. And it's the same with food. If you're getting low on food, you know, set some pricing in here. Set some exports for it if you've got a ton of it. Same with this. So, but I mainly use it to buy my tools. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to set my import only, and my target is going to be 2. So that means I always have, I'm going to set it to 3. That means I always have 3 on hand at any given time. And you can see here, I've got 10 pelts stored now. So when a trader eventually goes by, he'll buy that from us. I started construction on 3 more plots here, so you can now see I've also got 6 families. So as you increase your plots, more families will join, and it's pretty immediate right now. I'm assuming that'll change with the launch of the game or maybe the early access, simply because it just means you get people as soon as you build the house rather than it being based off of approval ratings or migrants coming by, etc. So one thing I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start assisting my food. So I'm going to go to crops here. Well, not crops, but I'm going to click on these plots and I'm going to set these up for vegetable gardens. So they just require 1 tool. And this is why I get my tools. So I can have these plots getting carrots for me. Now it costs 1 tool to build a trading post. And then since I've doubled down, I had 1 available. But once I start, if you play on a normal mode, once you start buying, or once I sell like this batch of pelts and I start buying more tools, they'll start to come through. Now, what's a good way to make cash if you don't have animals available, for say? Throw down a mining plot. If you've got stone or even iron, throw that down, have someone mine it, and just sell it all. It's not a bad way to go about it. I always suggest not to sell your food just because you're probably going to get caught with your pants down if you build too many burgage plots at one point, so you might as well just be ready. So I've got more plots coming in, so you can see I've got 7 families available. I'm going to throw another family. I've got a family of 3 here, so they're fine to work on this field. Right now I have it set for fallow. I'm going to set it to emmer, and I'm going to do a crop rotation. So we're going to do 2 years of emmer and then a year of fallow. So I love crop rotations. I hope they do more upon that. Like if we can like really get some like nice 15th century like crop rotation kind of guides down, like having clover and turnips and snow peas and things that were actually used back in the day to naturally fertilize the land, it would be fantastic. So I can't wait to see things like that. The farming is always one of my most sought after things in these types of games, which is super nerdy, but it's fine. It's fine. So with this, I've got 2 extra families. I'm going to keep 1 in the trading post because I want to make cash right now, okay? I've got 1 in the farms, which is enough to maintain this. The reason I say that is if you look at this, so we've got 7 peasant families, right? 14 males, 7 females. That's 3 per family. This plot, I don't know if it tells us here. Here we go. Workforce limit, 3. So that's 1 family. So I don't need to have 2 families maintaining this. If I build another one, then yes, I'll need another family to maintain it. But for now, that'll be just fine. So that along with our hunting, and I'm going to reinstate the berries, will help sustain us for quite some time. And once this is up and running, I'm probably just going to X the berries. I'll keep the plot here just, you know, for aesthetics, but then we're just going to stop getting berries unless it becomes necessary. And I've got more room for plots here. You can see I heard some cash come in, so 46. So he gave us a tool and he bought our stock of pelts, which was awesome. So I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to get a vegetable garden. And you also saw that I had some other things available now. Chickens and goats. They seem to do about the same right now. So I don't really care too much for what happens for each one. They just use cash instead of whatchamacallem. So I'm not going to bother with those. I'll do it for the variety. So I'll throw down a chicken right there. And then the next one, I'll do a goat when I sell a couple more pelts. But until then, I'll just do carrots for everything because the cost difference is a lot. 6 shekels for a tool versus 25 for those. But they do look really neat. Why don't we take a look at them? Look, obviously we got our carrots being planted here by our homeowners. We got some sweet chickens. Look, we got Katharina. She's going somewhere. I hope that's just the family, not the chicken, but that's funny. But the game just looks beautiful. Guys, if you're loving Manor Lords, make sure you do hit that like button down below. We're going to try and cover this as much as possible when it comes. So do hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you can always be back for some of that sweet, shabby content. But let's carry on here. So right now we're in a little bit of a waiting game because I want before I like really start my expansion, I want to make sure food's good. So you can see here, I've only got food for 4 months with the people we do have. So due to that, what I want to do is make sure that these start taking off a bit and that we're selling pelts, of course, and getting tools so I can just create more carrots because the carrots almost sustain the family in its entirety. And then with just some wheat, we'll be good to go. And then I'll eventually just use the pelt and meat to subsidize, and the pelts we'll use for clothing at a later time. So look, I got another set of money here. So why don't we get our goats? Bam. So there's all that variety. Take a little zoom in here. Oh, you can't see them just yet. You can see we got some more chickens though. Looking great. I hope the chickens go and eat the other guy's carrots. There is another lovely advantage to money, so we need to talk about that real fast. That is, if we go back to the trade here, it's a work in progress image, so it kind of catches people off canner, but it's called the Livestock Trading Post. This allows importing and exporting of livestock. Even though it's so sheep, there's other things we can get as well. So I'm going to throw this down. I'm just going to throw it right across from our trader here. Right there will be beautiful. And I'm going to probably put some people in there once I have a little bit more cash. I've got 50 now because what do I want to do? I want to get some more ox. So that way we can have more people being able to carry product around faster. And eventually that's how we'll get sheep. And then we'll start sheep breeding. So that way we can get their wool. So that way we can shear them, get the wool, and then we can process that into clothing. And that'll be our second source of clothing because we'll get it from leather from our hunting and we'll also get it from our sheepies. So here's the Livestock Trading Post. Lambs are a work in progress. I don't even know if they're in the game, but I'm probably going to buy some. You can't breed anything yet because it requires the scientific path for where you can make discoveries and get like learned advanced technologies, etc. That's not available in the demo, so I don't believe the breeding is either, but we'll get them so we can see them and show everything. But I have this set right now so I can have a target of 5 ox. So that way we can have our ox running around this place looking brilliant. I'm going to move this granary eventually. I honestly think I'm going to put the granary like right over here. But for now, it's fine because I'm going to want it to just really maintain everything. So that way later when I have more people, I can build a nice big farm here and that'll be my wheat farm. And I might build the farm over here too. We'll see though. We'll see. So just from 1 year, I've got 230 grains, which is a ton. It's so much and it's great. So let's talk about what we need to do with that. We need to get a windmill so we can convert that grain into flowers. I'm going to plop it, say, I don't know if I want this on the main road. I think I'm going to do all of it here. Here? It's pretty central here, I think. I'm trying to not be on a total main road. I think right here will actually be the best. So I'm going to put a granary here. I'm going to put the bread shop here. And then I wanted to see if I could fit the granary next to it, but it's a little big. It's unfortunate. I might just put the granary over here. That's still pretty local to everything. Oh, you know what? I can just put it here. Oh, that road's in the way, I think. So if I go over here, just delete this road real quick. I'm going to put a new granary here. Okay, and then I'll just rebuild that road. So all I was doing was connecting it from here to here. So that way, if they had to cart things back and forth, there was just a little bit more travel consistency. That's all I really care about with a lot of these things is the ease of access, because they do get junked up in corners and stuff. That's why they make the housing roads thicker, but I haven't seen a way to make these roads thicker just yet. So I hope that's in the next expansion, especially obviously with some road updates. So it's not just dirt, right? We want stone, we want brick. I have food and fuel for about 12 months now, so I'm going to get through the upcoming winter, and then in the spring, we're going to double down on some houses here. I'm probably going to put like 5 more families in. I'll bring them up this way, and then I'll start building on the other side of this market here as well. And then we can also have all this room for expansion too, of course, or even behind the housing here. So I'm going to do that next. I can even pause this to get some other people working. I'm going to do that next because we've got food supplies taken care of. 2 of those 5 families are going to go over to the granary in the windmill here, as well as, not the storehouse, the communal oven. So then we'll start making breads. I've got my 5 ox. I'm going to take these guys out of here for now. I'm going to put the guy back on the trading post so I can be making tons of money. And this is going to be the final carrot plot upgrade. So all of these are now carrots plus our, whoops, mouse jerked, plus our beautiful goats here. Look at them. Aren't they gorgeous? And of course, our chimkins. So we've got a lot of variety here. Let's take a look at what we got here. So you can see here, I've got 5 food varieties available to our people. Way more than we need. So we can be working on everything else now. I'm more worried about not so much variety, but quantity. The last thing I need is for people to be starving to death, right? So food and firewood are always going to be my top priority, and then I'll start slowly working on the next. Speaking of the next, we can provide some church in here now. If we go to, I think is it the administration? No, that comes in the next area. So if we come up here, whoops, this is the development and policy stuff I was talking about that's not available. This is where like the breeding is. If we hover up here, you can see once we have 10 plots and a church, we'll be upgraded to a medium village. So I'm going to make our church now. I just got to remember where it is. I think it's in the village life. It is. So this gains access to faith. So I'm going to plop the church. I don't know where I want the church, honestly. Maybe I just kind of put them out here. We'll do the church way out here like this, I think. I was going to put houses over here, but I think this will be fine. Church at the end. Yep. This is good for me. I'll take that. Church will go there. Question was, did they have side plots? No. I like when things have like road connectors on the sides, like the lumberyard here, because it just looks so nice with all the different roads that come in, and same with the hunting lodge. Love seeing that. So this is looking fantastic. Now that I've got the granary where I think I want, I'm going to do an upgrade on it. This will increase the hand carts available, as well as how much storage is available. You see the little cluster that's happening over here? Let's see if we can fix that a little bit. This is becoming a big main cut through. So I don't really think there's much I'm going to be able to do, but I'm wondering if I just kind of like double down on some roads here like this and make them thicker. It'll just allow people to get things done faster. It's kind of the hope, right? There's only so much room though. This is why I was like, I really wish there was some thicker roads available from the start, but it's understood because there's only so much available in the game currently. So there's my haphazard thick road. So now once winter's done, we'll get some more families in and we'll get progressing. The next thing we're going to work on is I'm going to start the process for beer for entertainment. So we've got our 10 plots now, plus our church. That means we have been upgraded. So we've got a new message here. So now the king demands the region of Arkenfort. You are hereby on a mission of debt for the lands on which the royal crown has granted stewardship to the honorable ShabbyDoo. A tax is to be levied upon the land to be paid in the precious wealth or labor. Failure to submit payment will find the lands forfeit the governance under the stewards and returned to the crown. So we got to pay the upcoming royal tax in 365 days, which is 5 shekels. So, but this unlocks some further things that we can do for administration and military. One of the ones is the Bailey. So this is where we can design a manor house, which is where we also unlock, see, provides living space for 5 peasants. So that's 5 families. So make sure when you build this, you're ready for your food to be gutted as well as your firewood. But this is a great thing to start using. Next is the tax collector. So this enables tax collection in the region. So that's locked. I can't remember what it is we need. Medium village. So for the medium village, I know we get it. This is wrong. Next level. Oh, we are a medium village. Maybe I just have to have the manor house down first, technically, because we are a medium village. So we'll get all that taken care of. Maybe I'll build the manor house here. This would be a pretty sweet spot to do it, I think. Or maybe if I even plopped it like way out here, kind of. That'd be pretty sweet. I'm not too sure yet. Down here. We'll figure it out. No, over here. We'll do it over here so the people are kind of here and like, oh, look at him. He looks great on the hill by himself. Yes, I love it. What are these? Those are rocks. I thought they were wild sheep. So we'll get that taken care of. But before I do, we need to allocate our people a little bit more appropriately. I'm going to speed the time up here because it slowed down when that happened. We're building the final house. I need some more families beforehand because we've got everything done and they're all assigned. So we can take a look around here. I've got, one in my trade, so I'm making cash. I might pause that for a little while. I've got one in my farm. I'm going to increase that in a little bit. I've got my hunting camp. Our berries are paused, so we're not doing berries anymore. We've got our one in our windmill in the communal oven. So now we are making bread. You can see there I've got 8 bread. So we're making bread, but you've also see we got a lot of other things too, but we've only got food for 11 months. So we've still got a good surplus, but I'm going to want to increase this to 3. I want to have more firewood available just to make sure we're all set, which means I'm going to need another storehouse, I think, because my logs are looking pretty tight. But when that happens, I'll just pause this and they'll go do something else for a bit. And this will be stored up too. Logs are kind of the least important. They're useful, but once you hit a certain point, they don't do anything except for build you things. I kind of wish you would use logs in order to make firewood and it was a process that way, rather than having a separate camp cutting down trees as well just for firewood purposes, but it's all right. It works out just the same. So we're going to work on that. I'm actually thinking we're pretty good on everything I want right now. So why don't we create this? So let's get our Bailey wall. So I'm just going to do something like this. Kind of go around the, I don't want to like be on the road. It's a little goofy. The angles, let's adjust these curves a bit. There we go. That's better. We'll do something like this and then connect it. This will be our Bailey. I'm going to build it out here. It'll be in the backyard of our peasants. So it lacks a gatehouse, right? So we got to put a gatehouse down. I'm going to throw the gatehouse right. Actually, I'll put it right over here where this road is. So that'll work like that. And then we can also put a manor house down. Now you can see the manor house doesn't connect in the middle, okay? These snap to the walls themselves. So we'll place a manor house. I'm thinking in the back here, kind of. No, I'll place it right here, just kind of near the entrance. Should I have them with the backs away? No. I'm thinking, why does it look like it's backwards? Let's put it right at the bottom of the hill. It'll look real nice down there looking up. Perfect. That way all the peasants can see our lovely, lovely manor home. So that'll bring in some more peasant families as well. They're kind of the ones that work for us. So we'll get that taken care of and move on to phase 2, which will be, I want to increase. Actually, I don't really need to increase this. So we'll just start making the process so we can get our entertainment completed, and then we'll work on clothing. Clothing's real simple. Let's talk about that right now. We just go to industry. We're going to need 2 buildings. I'm going to need a tannery and a weaver shop. Because I'm going to omit flax, because I have this available, I just need another building. Now, if I want to use flax and wool, so meaning we're going to use sheep and then we're going to use farming to get flax, you would only need this building. But I'm just going to go for the opposite route here. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to build these productions over here, perhaps. No, you know what? I'll even just do them on the main road kind of right here. So why don't I build a little sub road going up? Kind of like this. Like that. And then I'm just going to bring it in like that. There we go. So why don't we bring our weaver's shop here? Leave a little room. And then I'll bring our tannery over here as well. And then I'll even create a little road. I think it might be able to fit through here. It does. We'll create another little pass through there for our people. So now we've got a secondary little outlet here. Now with those, we'll obviously need two families to maintain that, but we've got almost everything we need. So we need to get sheep, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do, I'm going to change these. So I'm going to have, I want to have 4 sheep and 2 lambs, because why not? I've got the cash. We've got plenty of cash. See, this is all just from the pelts, mind you. Now that I'm going to start using the pelts, though, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come down here. Where was my pelt? See, I've got 42. I'm going to set my target to 30. I don't know if that's high enough or if it's too high, but we'll find out as time goes on. You're going to see these pantry limited because I don't have enough people exporting with the granary. It'll come later, but that's okay. So policies are now unlocked because we got the manor house in. Although, remember, nothing's available, so we can't do anything with them yet. But that's what happens when you start getting these things. So, and you can also see I've got some unassigned families. So next, I want to build, oopsies, clicked the wrong thing. I want to build the tax collector. I'm going to plop this down. So remember, it doesn't fit in here, right? It's got to go inside here. So I'm going to build the tax collector's office in the corner. I'm going to build some roads in here too, just to kind of make it look nicer. These don't have like, well, this one has a connector outside, which is interesting. I guess the tax collector goes on the outside of the building. Didn't realize that. I thought he was like inside, internally connected. Hold on. I'm going to do this then. Stop that. I wonder if that broke my wall here. Go to the tax collector. I'm going to actually put him over here. Near the gatehouse, right? Tax collector will go there. Beautiful. Yeah, like, look, my wall is just gone. The game didn't, like, put my wall back. And it won't let me connect it in. Okay, well, you know what? It's just broken. Make sure the devs are aware of that. So now with tax collection, this is how it works. So the guild. Basic tax collected per family on the first day of each month. I'm going to set it to 2. So you can see here, predicted approval change minus 6%. Okay. Predicted treasury income plus 34. Then we've got a tithe. Give away a percentage of the goods to the church. It converts silver to influence. So if I do this, which is kind of weird because like the approval's going down, but you'll get influence out of it. So I'm going to change this to 5%. So this will give us a treasury of 47, which is probably plenty more than I even need. But I just want to throw that down just to kind of see how it all works. So we'll let that kind of romance itself through. I'm going to add one more person to our granary. We're going to add another family to the farm and plant our malt farm now. We're going to move quick here. So I want to make sure. Where was it? It was this? No, that's the sheep farm. Village life. No, it's going to be an industry. So industry here. So we're going to need malt. So we're going to turn barley to malt and then the brewery malt into ale. And then we'll need the tavern. So we're going to need a few buildings here. So let's go to the farming. We're going to do this. I am going to do barley. And I'm going to build it over here. This will be a great spot for it, I think. Actually, I'll do it here. And then we'll build the tavern over there across from the farm. I love that. I love that idea. So I'm going to curve that around there and do something like this. What is there? I don't see like the minimum people needed here, but that's okay. So this is a workforce limit of 5. So that's okay. I should be plenty fine with just even 3 here. So I'm going to set this to barley. And then we're going to do a rotate. I'm going to do barley, barley, fallow. Okay. So that'll be perfect. We'll get that rolling. Let's get some buildings down. First is the tavern. I want to place it so I know right where it's going to go. And I kind of actually, oh, too bad. It just doesn't fit here. You know what? Let's get rid of the berries. See you later. If I want it later, I'll just build it. I want the tavern to be right here by the village people. Just kind of on the corner. Right here is good. Like just outside, but it's nice and rowdy still. And then I'll build all the production over here. So why don't we just go industry. I need the malt house. Malt house will go here. We'll get the brewery right here. And then the granary is just right here as well. So everything's real close and simple. So it's still really nice. So with this, I'm going to increase the workforce just to 3 here. I'm not even going to bother manning the tavern because we don't have ale, right? So I'm going to man the malt house. Actually, and I'm going to pause it, though. I'm going to man it, pause it, because we don't have brew yet, right? We don't have any barley. So we're going to get everything else working first. Speaking of working, I want to get these guys set to carrots just so that they're working on their own stuff and things over here. And that should be all my tools. Oh, no, I have a 4th tool. Okay. That's fantastic. You can see, look at all of our personal money. It can be used for diplomatic purposes or for hiring retinue and mercenaries. There are no mercenaries available in the demo just yet, which is unfortunate. I would love to see things like that. I wonder if I can buy land. Now, claim with influence or favor, but I don't know if that's available in the tutorial yet. We've got a lot of influence, but why don't I head back home? I don't know where I am. Hello, home. There I am. Also, one thing I absolutely love on here is how the map actually starts to change as you build your villages, which is phenomenal. I think that is such a great feature in the game. It's an actually interactive map. The storage limit reached. What's being stored here? But your storage isn't reached at all. Keep doing your thing, people. So I do want to create maybe a cut through for these guys who live here because this is kind of far for them. So why don't we cut into here like this? That way they have a more direct path to the town. Same with up here. There's a connection there too if they need to get to the villages. They're all just kind of cutting directly across though. So why don't I do something like this even? Something like that should be better too. And then I can build housing within this area still. I love it. I love it. So I don't think we got barley out of that year yet. We put it in just too late, so that's fine. So we'll get some barley next time. I'm also going to destroy this. And I want to construct a new one right here. Because I want to fill this entire corner. Max workers 8, whatever. Don't care. I want to see this filled. Throw in a, whoops. Throw in a, nope. Unlimited work area. Throw in a 4th family. So that'll be 12 people working, which is just shy of the cap. This is a cap of 13, but that's fine. We could even lower that to 3 eventually, but for now I just want to be 4 to get everything ready. Also see here, look at all that flour. Flour is something else we could be selling now instead of pelts. But again, I like to keep my food just ridiculous. Like, look at this. I've got 200 bread, 293 meats. Like, we've got a lot happening here. We've got plenty of animals still, so everything's still fine. So let's get these manned as well. So I'm not going to worry about the weaver shop. Let's get the tannery manned. And then let's build a sheep herder right here. So first thing I'm going to need is a sheep farm. I'm just going to need the plot. I'm going to put it across the way right here. Like this. Yes. And then we need the actual pasture, and this is where the sheepies are going to live. So I'm going to place it kind of like this. Hard to see in the wintertime, honestly. I'm going to just do something like this. I want it to be like really conformed to the roads. So like this will be good. It says animal capacity 28, which is a lot. I just like the look of it. I want to see all the sheeps here. We've got some farmage here. I want it to really look rural as you get into this village. So I think it's going to look awesome. We're going to do another big expansion here now that we're in the next year. I'm going to throw down a garrison tower, extra accommodation for 12 retainers. So I'm going to plop this down. I think I'm going to do it here even. This looks pretty good. I kind of want it near the people so they kind of, you know, they know who's in charge, right? I did just build some roads in here. They're not using them because it's a little gunked up because of the because of the wall being destroyed, but that's okay. It'll figure itself out soon enough. It'll figure it out. So with this, we'll get some more people so we can start manning all of our other operations here, which will be our weaver shop, our sheep farm. The tannery is already being used, so we are getting clothes. I believe they show up here. You see we have leather available. So in here, they don't expand on actual clothing because it's the demo. So leather is a type of clothing right now. So is the wool and the yarn. So it's like they pick up the raw materials and make the clothing themselves. But that'll all be changed when the game goes fully live. Don't worry about that. That's just an early edition ad so that you can get an idea of how the game feels. So the garrison has been made. You can see, look at all this money we're getting. And I have no use for the money. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to turn these down and I'm going to do like 14% for the tithes to try and gain influence. Which is this. I don't know if we can do anything with it or not, but we'll find out. So we'll start getting a lot more retinues here. Hopefully that's what it said it would do. And just like that, we've got everything we need. So I just like really increased the families. You can see I've got 25 families right now. They're all being put to work. As I gain some more tools, which I'm going to try and do a lot faster. So I'm just going to hit like 10 just to see if they can get purchased a bit quicker. I could send my people out, but that's not really necessary at the moment. I am going to lower this to 25 so I can sell some more of those. And I'm even going to start selling some leathers because I don't need all this leather. So I'm just going to hold on to 20, let's say. 20 should be fine. And I'm going to keep the flour because we're going to be increasing our food production. But with this, you can see now I've got 16 houses ready to upgrade. I've got some that just fell off. Oh, the entertainment went out. I only had one beer because beer just started getting made. So like as soon as you have one beer, you can start to upgrade. I'll just have to wait for another one. It's fine. Like I could even set this to buy a single beer and you can get that entertainment value, level them up and get that mission completed. But we're going to wait. I want to get some barley grown this year. We've got it coming nice and hot. So we'll get that taken care of. We got our new wheat farm over here, 93%. We'll get this harvested soon as well. And then with that, we'll get some more production going. You can see I've got another piece of, we got one more ale in the house. So fire started. That's the first time I've ever seen a fire happen in this game. I didn't even know that was a thing yet. That was actually really interesting. Rebel, it's on fire. Change that priority. Get some people working on that. That was actually pretty neat. Hold on. Let's go into the visit mode. Look at it. Look at her burn. On fire. People got to bring stuff from the well, which is like way down there. You can see that she's starting to work on it a bit. I don't even think I could put a well any closer to here. Like the nearest, there's no water lines anywhere out here. They're all on the outskirts of the village. Just super goofy, but it is what it is. It's also raining, so I mean, that should really help with the fire, honestly. Look at that. See, people are going and now everyone's going to reconstruct the tavern. That was actually pretty neat. I've never seen a fire actually happen in the many hours I've put into this game, so that was really fun to see. I actually appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much for setting my tavern on fire. Let's get some barley. All right, tavern's back up and running so we can do some upgrades. I'll upgrade some of our first homes, make them feel important. So if we do this, you can see it requires 4 wood, and we've got wood still being produced. So I'm just going to hit upgrade for, we'll just go up the line here until I run out of wood. How about that? We'll upgrade all of those boys, and we've still got some wood. Oopsies, I didn't mean to zoom in on you. Sorry, wasn't trying to be a peeping Tom. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. That's it. So we'll let those all upgrade. All right, so that quest has been completed, and you can see we've got no more quests available. That's just kind of where the demo goes to. It's getting you to understand how to get your plots upgraded, and then obviously there would be much more to progress from here. This game's going to be very in-depth. I mean, if you look at it, we're only in one small territory of this entire wonderful map, which is all still a work in progress. There's still so much we have yet to see, so I can't wait to see what the game brings us. See, we've got plenty of fuel here, even though it was looking low, is because most of it was being stored right in the woodcutting lodge. You can see it's completely maxed out, so I had to put my fire. I had to put someone working in the firehouse over here so they can get this working again. But I can't wait to see how this game develops. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's looking fantastic. It is also a solo dev team, which blows my flipping mind. Thank you, Greg, for such an amazing game. I cannot wait to see where this game goes. This is one to watch, people. If you're loving city builders, and especially if you're a casual city builder, like you're not looking into that like Frostpunk or that like Farthest Frontier, like kind of hardcore, this is pretty good for now. But there's going to be so much more. So that opinion of mine could change because there's going to be manor wars in here. We're going to have to be recruiting militia to be defending and attacking other territories. So there's going to be a lot of depth to this game, which I am highly, highly looking forward to. And I hope you are too. Make sure you wish list everything down below. Watch this game so that way you can see if there's further demos that come out or when the early access is released. But I'm going to let this play out just a little longer. I want to see what happens if I get 1,000 influence. And with that, we can see if I can even purchase a new territory. I didn't try that yet. I don't think it's in the demo, but I want to check it out. Large granary was just a little bit of damage. That's fine. It happens. I've got another granary being built because this one's actually maxed out. So because ale starts to store in here too, but you can see all this bread, all that meat. We've got so much goods here. But guys, if you're loving Manor Lords, like I keep saying, make sure you smash like down below, hit that subscribe button as well, and leave me comments. Let me know how your games are going, if you've done anything different than I have. All right, I got my influence that I wanted at 1.2K. You can see I did some rather explosive growth. I planned down here. I even filled out this plot here. I haven't bothered really with any upgrades lately, just because it's been kind of irrelevant, and I don't have much left to do. I've got like my trading post maxed out, so I'm seeing what kind of cash I can kind of generate. But let's see if I can buy a new plot of land. I don't think it's implemented, but we'll find out here. If I was gonna buy one, why not say, like, obviously this would be the better of them. But look, claim this territory, 1,000 influence, claim with favor. Can't do it. So it looks like it's not available. I was curious. I didn't think it was, but I just wanted to check if I had the influence, if it would let me do it. It doesn't, so that's okay. But that's how we're going to be working on expansion, is by gaining all that influence, building our territory. Like, I mean, look, I've still got so much space available here, but I really, like, I would essentially call this village done, in my opinion, until, like, I added a few more things. Like, yeah, I would eventually put in an iron mine and do some tool generator myself, but it wasn't required for me in this playthrough, so I just didn't really bother with it. But this is basically the nuts. Work empty. Work area empty. Oh yeah, I put a berry hut back down because I was like, yeah, why not? So, but you can see this is how far expansion has come. This is what's available in the demo. I hope you all enjoyed. I really enjoyed playing this game. I played this like 3 times now. I am quite in love with the art of it, just the play style. So I can't wait to see how far it develops. If you can't either, make sure you subscribe so you can always be following for sweet shabby content for all the new updates on Manor Lords and other fantastic games as well. And please, as usual, hit that like button down below if you really did enjoy it. It helps out all of us so we can all be closer together. But all right, brothers and sisters, as usual, this has been ShabbyDoo, and I hope the rest of your day is not too shabby.